Hi, everyone. Literally good Friday to you. Thank you for being a part of the program this 25th day of March. I mean, when I see you next time, we're going to be looking at April just within a matter of a day or so. A great deal of ground to cover. We'll wait and see how. I'm not quite for certain how much longer my voice will hold out. We'll go at a steady pace and see what happens. Certainly some headlines that we want to include in tonight's program. Something we'll be talking about later on. A couple of things. Johnson County Middle School, their 13th state championship just a few days ago, and I had some accompanying information with that I just couldn't get prepped before airtime, so we'll talk about that next week, and we'll also be talking about it later. We weren't allowed to take cameras into the concert last night, but wow, what a show. What a show that Chris Stapleton, his wife, and his band put on. Everyone should be very thankful, not just those in Johnson County, but everyone in the region for coming back and paying special attention to his alma mater. And, of course, the gestures that he and Ram Trucks made, $57,000 in musical instruments for the band, the equipment, the materials and equipment that was donated to establish an outdoor stage at the school. And the story goes on, and this one we'll talk about a little bit later on in the program. Not tonight, but a little bit later on. Also, Johnson County Middle School students, I just couldn't get it prepped before airtime because we had some accompanying photographs and other information with their 13th state championship at the state academic competition just days ago. So congratulating them, but once again, a couple of reports that we'll talk about at a later date. Before I leave you tonight, just a couple of things before I try to make it through local headlines. Your weather forecast, your Easter forecast, still looking pretty good and pretty dry for the most part on Sunday. We'll try to give you a timeline as to when we might expect to see some showers. We've got some frost in the picture as well. First, though, two other reports. The Kentucky State Police from Post 9 in Pikeville say they were called just before 7 o'clock yesterday evening to a possible fatal structure fire on Laurel Fork and Feds Creek, from what we understand. Emergency personnel were able to find one individual deceased inside the home after the flames were finally put down. Cause of the death is still under investigation. No foul play is expected. Neighbors did confirm to authorities that they believe that the female resident was at home at the time. Her pet, a dog, was saved, seriously burned, and was getting treatment at an area veterinarian facility. They have not formally released her identification as of yet. Another mining accident, a fatal one, this time in Harlan County. Officials say 48-year-old Mark Frazier of Letcher County died in an accident at Huff Creek number 1 mine. He was struck by a material that was falling as he was doing some maintenance on the work. He was a seasoned miner with nearly 15 years of experience as a mine operator. The mine itself is operated by Lone Mountain Processing, which is a subsidiary of the Arch Coal Company. Well, you may have seen the power flash briefly, as it did here in the studio early yesterday. It was actually part of a forest fire that started maybe as a trash fire or something of that nature, maybe a debris fire near a residence in the Coal Branch area. That's still being investigated. But what we can tell you and what we can show you with some video brought into the scene and with an accompanying interview from Carter Conley of the McGoffin County Rescue Squad is that one area resident may be looking at thousands of dollars in restitution to the power company and others after a fire got out of control. It downed 2 power poles, power lines, and knocked out power to cell phone, 911, and other services.
It got really hot going up that hill, and it burnt 2 electrical poles. One with the transformer on top of the hill, approximately 800 to 1,000 feet of electric wire, phone wire, fiber optic to the Appalachian Tower, plus the electrical wire. Power was also out to the AT&T cell tower and WRLV, so if you want to know why WRLV was off, that's the reason for the power. All communications, the fire rescue and SO in the building up there was off due to no power. We didn't know this for about 30 minutes to an hour because there was no radio traffic. So once I got up on the hill, found all the damage that was done due to this forest fire. I had to take a generator up to the tower from the rescue squad to hook up the radios to get them back online. Normally, the Appalachian Tower, wireless tower, has a backup generator, but it failed to not kick in yesterday. So, therefore, by the time we got our generator up there and all the cords running to get these 3 fire rescue and SO in. Appalachian Tower people, or cell tower people, came and they got their generator started up, and so then it started feeding power over to the 911 communications building. Our AEP was on scene. They said it would probably be Monday before they could get a pole set, so we were good with using the electric off of the Appalachian Tower site. So a little small debris fire caused a major big problem. That's why WRLV was off. That's why 2 cell towers were down. Why 911 was down for about approximately an hour and a half. So do not do any burning. If there's any wind, even though it's 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. in fire season right now, please don't do any burning. If there's any wind gust at all, you can see what could happen on a little debris fire that got strictly way out of hand real quick and caused a lot of damage.
Forest Ranger Chris Adams was off duty today and unreachable. AEP representatives did tell fire personnel on scene yesterday that they would be seeking restitution for losses that they incurred from the person or persons responsible for starting the original fire, which spread to this degree. The identity that is still under investigation by the Division of Forestry and others at this time. For high-speed internet starting at 15 meg for all of your gaming, movie, home, and business solutions, or to watch TV, including your favorite local channels without a contract with hundreds of channels and digital and HD quality, and to stay connected 24/7 with friends and family, a direct line to 911, or to give your business the link it needs, choose telephone service you know is always there. Just click on their link on this site to find out how affordable the latest technology in communications can be. Foothills Communications.
There has been some developments in the ongoing election fraud case here in McGoffin County. A trial date has been set for 5 individuals facing serious counts of election fraud, vote buying, conspiracy, and I'll have that for you in just a few moments. But on the note of fraud, another elected official, on the heels of yesterday reporting that former state representative Keith Hall of Pikeville was officially sentenced to 7 years in prison for bribing a mine inspector. Tonight we understand that Timothy M. Longmire, the former secretary of the Kentucky Personnel Cabinet, and up until just days ago, the assistant attorney general, has now been accused of taking kickbacks to the tune of a few $100,000 in a scheme to defraud the government.
Longmire, the former secretary of the Kentucky Personnel Cabinet, solicited and accepted over $200,000 in kickbacks during his tenure in that position, according to a criminal complaint unsealed in federal court earlier today. An affidavit filed with the complaint alleges that he accepted kickbacks from a private consulting company in exchange for his help in securing multi-million-dollar contracts for the consultant, which allowed the consultant to work with the insurance companies who provide health care coverage to everyone employed by the state. As Secretary of the Personnel Cabinet, Longmire was responsible for overseeing the Kentucky Employees Health Plan, KEHP, which contracted with Humana and Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield to provide health care coverage under the KEHP. Longmire is accused of using his position to persuade Humana and Anthem to hire the private consultant for services such as focus groups and telephone surveys, and in exchange he took recurring payments from the consultant, including cash and straw contributions to certain political campaigns. I can't find anywhere those campaigns have been identified yet. The consultant made these payments with the proceeds from contracts with Humana and Anthem. Longmire has since resigned from the Kentucky Personnel Cabinet on September the 30th of 2015. During the year leading up to his resignation, he solicited about $212,000 in kickbacks from the consultant, according to the complaint, and he received about $203,000 in cash and straw campaign contributions. He resigned just this week as Deputy Attorney General. U.S. Attorney General Kerry Harvey says it's quite possible others will be charged, but said that no one else in the State Attorney General's office is under investigation. He also said he didn't believe Humana or Anthem, which provided the insurance for the program, knew of the scheme.
On the subject of fraud, an Eastern Kentucky man identified as Terry James Crawford has been indicted by the United States District Court of Eastern Kentucky on federal charges of theft of government property and Social Security fraud for more than $93,000 in Social Security payments that he reportedly misled authorities in order to obtain.
I actually came across this indictment returned yesterday while doing research looking for a trial date for the election fraud case here in McGoffin County. And so far, I can't determine as to whether or not Terry James Crawford is from Floyd County or from Martin County. There are a couple of different addresses, so to speak, listed in the indictment, which charges him with theft of government property and Social Security fraud, more than $93,000, in which, reportedly, per the indictment, he filed paperwork with the Social Security Administration falsely claiming to be the biological father of a child and requested that the payee name on the Social Security benefits be changed to his name. And from February of 2007 through June of 2012, Terry James Crawford unlawfully received nearly monthly Social Security benefit payments as the biological father of that child. In December of 2006, with the knowledge and assistance of Terry Crawford, a Tammy L. Crawford filed paperwork falsely alleging she was the wife of Terry James in order to get Social Security benefits as the wife of the biological father of the same child. And in February of 2007, the Social Security Administration sent Tammy L. Crawford a letter to a P.O. box in Lovely, Kentucky, in Martin County, indicating she didn't qualify to receive the benefits on her husband's Social Security card, but she filed a response that he indeed was, in fact, living with her. Her estimates come to some $42,000. She is not named in the indictment, only listed as a matter of fact. The government has filed notice that they intend to recoup the losses of more than $93,000. Crawford also faces no more than 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine on one of the charges, and no more than 10 years and a $250,000 fine on count 2, and then no more than 5 years and a $250,000 fine on count 3. More headlines in a moment. Right now, your McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar with a birthday wish. I know, I don't think my voice sounds as bad out there as it does in my head, but it sounds terrible in my head. Happy birthday, Jamie Howard. Love your son, Jaden, a whole lot of family and a whole lot of friends. We hope you've had a special day. Happy birthday to Jamie Howard. One last reminder from our friends at Stinson United Baptist Church. Church services tonight and tomorrow night at 7, and then they'll have Easter sunrise services at 7 with breakfast following, and then 11 o'clock services on Easter Sunday as well, and you are all invited to join them. Kindergarten registration starts at all elementary schools in McGoffin County and runs all next week. North, South, and Sagersville grade. There are their respective phone numbers if you need to call anyone. And also Head Start. Head Start applications will be taken next week as well. You can call the Head Start office at 349-3488 and call me if you've got a calendar, a birthday, or other announcement, and we'll tell everyone about them. Turning to funeral service announcements for this Friday, 84-year-old Charlie Prater of Sagersville passed away on Tuesday, March the 22nd, survived by sons Philip, Charles Riley, and Scotty Neal, also daughters Phyllis Blackburn and Regina Marie Prater. Visitation began last night. It continues this evening and prior to tomorrow morning services at 11, all from the Nelson Frazier Funeral Home. Pearl Marie Hensley Elam, 85, of Ashland, passed away on the 22nd, survived by sons Jerry Dale and Terry Michael, and daughters Sharon Eastep, Kathy Borders, Tammy Messer, and Lisa Swanson. Services are to be held tomorrow morning at 11 at the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Ethel Wireman Stevens, 93, of Southeast Licking River Road, passed away Wednesday, preceded in death by her husband, Raleigh Edgar. Visitation is this evening and prior to tomorrow afternoon services set to begin at 2 from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. And 71-year-old Margie Lee Back Salyer of Half Mountain passed away on the 24th. Married to Linville Salyer, who survives. She's also survived by sons Linville Jr. and Linzel Salyer and daughters Patricia Joseph and Glenda Sue Warren. Visitation will be afternoon tomorrow and prior to Sunday's services set to begin at 1 o'clock from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. And 55-year-old Mary Lou Holland Minix of Adams Trailer Court passed away today, the daughter of Burl Holland and the late Juanita Adams. Besides her father, she is survived by her husband, Randall Minix, and sons Randall James, Benjamin Curtis, and Daniel Minix. Visitation will be after 6 o'clock tomorrow, all day Sunday, and up until Monday's services that start at 1, all from the McGoffin County Funeral Home.
While one of the 5 co-defendants in the case as it pertains to vote buying and conspiracy in McGoffin County is set to be sentenced formally for a reached plea agreement on May the 16th, he is still included in the trial, which has now been set for just days earlier, with the other 4 original co-defendants, actually 3 original and 1 other, added, as we now have a trial date which has officially been set for Magistrate Gary Rooster Reisner of McGoffin County, Tammy Jo Reisner, Mason Daniels, Larry Shepard, and Scotty Lynn McCarty.
McCarty's official sentencing on a single count reduced to a single misdemeanor charge that would net him no more than a year in prison is set for May the 16th. May the 10th, just a few days prior, a trial expected to last no more than 1 week has been set for Gary Rooster Reisner, Tammy Jo Reisner, Mason Daniels, Scotty McCarty, and Larry Shepard. These court documents filed yesterday say that these all above-named defendants, having all been arraigned on the superseding indictment, which added Larry Shepard's name to the original in the above action, and having pled not guilty, and with the defendant Tammy Jo Reisner having stipulated to her competency to proceed, the court now enters this order setting the pretrial conference and a date for all defendants. The matter is assigned for a final pretrial conference on Thursday, April the 28th in U.S. District Court in Pikeville, while a jury trial is set for Tuesday, May the 10th. And once again, the counsel estimates the length of the trial to be approximately 1 week. Right before the 6:30 time frame, I've got 49 degrees and holding out there. We started off today at 46, so we didn't go very far. We're going to fall back to 32 degrees for nighttime lows. We do have, of course, a few things to relay to you in the form of a weather advisory. Well, I guess we could say weather advisory. Frost advisory in effect from 2 in the a.m. till 10 tomorrow morning. Frost will persist in some locations early tomorrow morning. It's also possible late Monday night into early Tuesday morning as well. And in the sheltered valleys, again, late Tuesday night into early Wednesday. So, it's I know we're officially into spring and everything is springing, but this could put a damper on some of the vegetation out there. Patchy frost tonight, becoming clear. It's been mostly cloudy all day. Skies will start to part during the overnight, and your Saturday will be an improvement, warming up to about 68 after that frost in the morning. We'll see sunny skies thereafter and clear across the board, 68 and 43. And for your Easter Sunday, Easter egg hunts, church services, anything early should be golden. Talking about 73 degrees on your Sunday. There is a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Right now, I've got it after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Clouds will increase, so it's not going to be sunny all day. We'll see a little sunshine at the onset, but clouds will increase. We'll warm up to about 72, 73 degrees, and then showers and thunderstorms will be likely, and I'm hoping it will be later than earlier on your Easter evening. So all in all, pretty decent forecast. And some of those showers and storms could pack a bit of a punch. We'll have to wait and see. Keep your eye on the forecast over the course of your weekend. Once that front is gone, cooler air behind it to the tune of 57 and partly sunny on your Monday. Temperatures improve and climb to 64 and sunny with a little frost possible Tuesday, a little frost possible on Wednesday, even though we'll see more sunshine and about 71 degrees on your Wednesday. I've got my eyes set on the 70s all the way through at least Thursday of next week and maybe thereafter.
Well, that's it. That's just about all I've got voice for. Still have plenty of news already to begin with next week. Happy Easter to you all. So glad the forecast is going to perk up just in time for the holiday weekend. We hope you enjoy your time at church with family, friends, or maybe even just with a little solitude alone if that's what you so wish. But above all, we hope you have a wonderful Easter holiday and that you'll join us back here Monday for more of Your News Today. Your News Today. Good night, and thank you for watching.